It is not the strongest of the species that survives, nor the most intelligent that survives. It is the one that is most adaptable to change. A man who dares to waste 1 hour of time has not discovered the value of life. Ignorance more frequently begets confidence than does knowledge. The love for all living creatures is the most noble attribute of man. If the misery of our poor be caused not by the laws of nature, but by our institutions, great is our sin. Everything in nature is the result of fixed laws. The mystery of the beginning of all things is insoluble by us. We must acknowledge, as it seems to me, that man, with all his noble qualities, still bears in his bodily frame the indelible stamp of his lowly origin. Nature will tell you a direct lie if she can. Survival of the fittest. In the long history of humankind, those who learned to collaborate and improvise most effectively have prevailed. One general law leading to the advancement of all organic beings, namely, multiply, vary, let the strongest live and the weakest die. There is grandeur in this view of life. Species are not immutable. The highest possible stage in moral culture is when we recognize that we ought to control our thoughts. Great is the power of steady misrepresentation. We are not here concerned with hopes or fears, only with the truth as far as our reason allows us to discover it. Natural selection is daily and hourly scrutinizing throughout the world every variation, even the slightest. An American monkey, after getting drunk on brandy, would never touch it again, and thus is much wiser than most men.
I am turned into a sort of machine for observing facts and grinding out conclusions. Mathematics seems to endow one with a new sense. I am not apt to follow blindly the lead of other men. I have steadily endeavored to keep my mind free so as to give up any hypothesis, however much beloved. Intelligence is based on how efficient a species became at doing the things they need to survive. The imagination is one of the highest faculties of the public. To my mind, it accords better with what we know of the laws impressed on matter by the Creator. It is like confessing a murder. My mind has become a kind of machine for grinding general laws out of large collections of facts. I see no good reasons why the views given in this volume should shock the religious feelings of anyone. The more we know of the fixed laws of nature, the more incredible do miracles become. I have been called a philosopher, but I am only a man of observations. A scientific man ought to have no wishes, no affections, a mere heart of stone.
but I am very poorly today, and very stupid, and hate everybody and everything. Beyond of doubt, there is no progress. Blushing is the most peculiar and most human of all expressions. He who understands the baboon would do more towards metaphysics than Locke. How paramount the future is to the present when one is surrounded by children. The moral faculties of man have been developed through natural selection. I cannot persuade myself that a beneficent and omnipotent God would have designedly created parasitic wasps.
A man's friendships are one of the best measures of his worth. If I had my life to live over again, I would have made a rule to read some poetry and listen to some music at least once every week. Work in the morning, then walk, and then work again. I am like a dog that has lost his master. Everything is so wonderful that nothing can be too wonderful. The world is wide, and I shall not waste my life. It is a long-standing subject of my thoughts. I am dying, then, at last. What a book a devil's chaplain might write on the clumsy, wasteful, blundering, low, and horribly cruel works of nature. Besides love and sympathy, animals exhibit other qualities connected with the social instincts which in us would be called moral. The power of man to produce a race of horses or dogs is nothing compared to the power of nature. It is those who know little and not those who know much who so positively assert that this or that problem will never be solved by science. Freedom of thought is best promoted by the gradual illumination of men's minds. Man is descended from a hairy-tailed quadruped. The structure of every organic being is most intimately related to that of all the other organic beings. A fair result can be obtained only by fully stating and balancing the facts and arguments on both sides. I am a strong believer that without speculation there is no good and original observation. My error was a very natural one. The success of the fittest is the law of nature. There is no exception to the rule that every organic being naturally increases at so high a rate that, if not destroyed, the earth would soon be covered by the progeny of a single pair.